So I've already drawn out the hedgehog on the canvas and given it a coat of acrylic medium with some raw umber to give me an imprimatura or a coloured ground to paint onto. And now I'm using a smaller brush with some Payne's grey just to put in some of those relevant details before they get lost. Because I will be doing some drastic painting over the top. Now I'll be using a limited palette of titanium white, Payne's grey, raw umber, burnt sienna and yellow ochre. So this is a simplified palette, which should make things easier to paint. If you've never tried painting with a simplified palette before, do give it a go. It'll change your entire way of painting. You'll love it. Just keep it simple. No special colours. And these are earth colours, so the whole thing will harmonise really nicely. Okay, so you see, I don't have to worry about bright colours sort of interfering with the painting at all. It's all going to be about the harmony of the colour and the tonality of the colour. Okay, so I'm just using this large brush here. This is my large 1-inch bristle brush, which I use in more or less every painting. And I just want to give you a little heads up here about my YouTube memberships. Just to let you know, at the moment I have just one tier, and this is basically a support tier. For just the price of a cup of coffee, you'll be able to have a privileged view of my videos before they go public. You will also be able to join me on my live painting sessions when I stream them, which is about once a month at the moment. In joining this tier, and also by using the links for any of the tools and materials that I use in the description below, you'll be helping to support me and my channel, and will help me to keep bringing you these videos and streams. Okay, so this is basically about layers, this painting. So the first layer was the imprimatura, that raw umber, that transparent ground that you can still see the drawing. Let that dry, and then I'm doing the second layer now, which is basic shapes with this large 1-inch bristle brush. I'm not interested in detail at all. In fact, this painting is going to be about abstract painting, impressionist painting and realistic painting, using all three, combining all three of those methods, because that's the way I'm sort of painting at the moment. I do love painting abstract and impressionist, and then putting detail where I want the viewer's eye to rest and to always concentrate on. Okay, with this catalyst tool, I'm just going to move this paint around a little. It's wonderful for this. This is a catalyst silicon painting tool, and I can apply paint with it, pick it up off the palette and apply it, and it produces wonderful abstract marks. And again, this is available from those links in the description below. So I want the background to be really nice and abstract and messy. Make it really messy, and I can blend as well. So I want the lower half of this hedgehog to blend in with the background, and then the upper half to be a little bit more detailed. But get really abstract with this background. See how it produces marks that a paintbrush can't do. That's a wonderful tool for that. Now with a bristle fan brush, I can start to apply some of these lighter areas. Okay, remember this is the second layer. And also I can apply this brush to do very small fine areas, just using the corner of the brush. It's such a useful brush, you can do all sorts of things with it, as is that large 1-inch brush. Okay, that's basically the shape of the hedgehog. I'll just put some of those other colours in here that are in the hedgehog elsewhere in the painting to harmonise the entire painting. Now, a little bit of burnt sienna and a little bit of raw umber added to that will just darken it slightly. Raw umber is a brilliant colour for dulling down colours. If they're too bright and garish, a little bit of raw umber will just take it down beautifully. Okay, I'm going to dry that layer off now because that layer is complete. It's the basic shapes, basically, the basic colours. So once it's dry, and I've dried it with the hairdryer, so just let it cool down a little, and then I can start to apply some of these little areas of detail that I don't want to lose. Little highlight on the ear, a highlight on the nose, on the little nostril area and that lower chin, underneath its chin. And also I'll be doing the upper eyelid and the lower eyelid and the highlight in the eye, like that. Okay, that's giving me those bright areas. I'll just put 1 or 2 little strokes of light there, and then get a little bit warmer as the light comes down this leg. I don't want it to be too bright. I want the brightest light to be around the face area, so it really shows off the animal. Now I'm doing the large areas again with this 1-inch flat bristle brush. So putting those darks in while I've got the dark colour on the brush, and then blending that up. And I get a little bit lighter with it now because I'm matching the colours that are already on the canvas. So I'm putting roughly the same sorts of colours in. So you can get a little bit grey. The Payne's grey and white makes a lovely grey. And then a little bit of yellow ochre will give a little greenish tint to it as well. And then a bit of burnt sienna will give a warmish tint. And you can mix and match and put all these different colours in to create variety. So that's really loosely put in. But then with the silicon painting tool, I can move the paint around once again. And this time it's moving a little bit more smoothly, because I'm not going over just a raw umber background. I'm going over a similar looking background, and then apply some of these colours into this by picking it up off the palette into the painting. Now a paintbrush cannot give you these marks, and a palette knife or a painting knife could possibly do this as well, but I just really like using that silicon painting tool. Now with a very cheap bristle brush, flat bristle brush, it's getting a bit worn now, but it still does the job, I can start applying some variety of colours into this lower portion here of the hedgehog as the light is bouncing up off the floor into its chest. Like that, and just delineating the legs just a little bit, and then blending that dark area. Remember, I want the lower edge of the hedgehog to blend in with the background. And then the further I come up towards the face, the more detailed it's going to be. This has the effect of drawing the viewer's attention towards those detailed areas, which is going to be the face. So that's one trick to use. The other one is to blur edges. Now, because that is blurring the lower part of the animal is blurring into the background, that's also helping to direct your gaze up into the face area. So the more abstract and impressionist the areas, they will guide you towards the detailed areas. And again, that's something you should be thinking about as you paint, but also the lightness and darkness, the contrasts. Where is it lightest? Where is it darkest? And make those darks against lights and lights against darks really stand out. So it becomes a bit more of a higher contrast. Okay, using this fan brush, bristle fan brush, I can actually start to paint with this, little bristles and stuff. And if you dampen the canvas like I just did with the spray, you'll find it flows off the brush so much easier. Bit more colour now into its back, and with these little spines along its back, just with that same brush. See, it's just giving the effect of those spines. I'm not painting every individual one. I've gone to a smaller brush to just augment it, just with a few little spines here and there. I'm not going to paint every single spine, because that would be realism, and I don't want to go down that route. I just want to keep the detail to the nose, the eye and the ear and the mouth area, and then a few detailed spines on the top of the head. So adding some variety in there. If they're too light, I just tap it with my finger and it dulls it down. That's another little trick to use. It's too bright, tap it with your finger and it'll just take it down a notch. Now this is a rake brush. I'm doing some of the other fine areas with this rake brush, which is another great tool, a great brush to have in your arsenal of brushes. Now with a little bit of yellow ochre added to the white, it warms it up a little bit. I started off by doing pure white, but now a little bit of yellow ochre added over the top of that white will give it a lovely warmth, a warm colour, and adding one or two of those colours into that background, again to harmonise the painting. And using a lighter in-between tone there just to blend the light against the dark in the fur. Okay, just putting one or two more of these little highlights in on its cheek there. And on the top of the head. And just here and there. You see how it does all those brushes, all those bristles in one go. A few little splatters now with a smaller brush. And a few little dots of light here and there. I love doing these little dots of light, these little fireflies of light. They could be dust particles catching the sunlight, or even little insects flying around. And then I can also add some little bits of foliage. Not detailed foliage, you'll notice. I'm not painting leaves or leaves in great detail. I'm doing an approximation of them, an impression of them, because that would detract from the main area of detail, which is the hedgehog's face. A few little highlight there into the eye and on the top of the ear. And I can pick up some really bright white now, thick white light, bright white, and just apply that just here and there, little dots of light where the light's just catching parts of the animal's face. And then I can bring some of that down into the body and then bend the brush like that, bend the bristles, and I can apply this to put some highlights of those little spines there on its face. Bending the bristles is a great little technique, but only do this with a worn old brush, otherwise you will ruin it. So keep an old worn brush purely for this reason. I have several. I never throw a brush away, so I've got lots I can do this with. I'll never run out of worn brushes. Okay, some more lights into those highlights there in the eye, and a little dot of light there and round the lower eyelid. Okay, a little highlight there just to make that stand out a bit more. Put that dot back in again, because you have to keep putting the lights in. As they dry, they will go a little bit more dull. So a few little dots of light up here. They will go dull until about 3 or 4 layers, and then they will stay bright. So a few little dots of light along its back, and if they're too bright and I don't like them, then I just tap them down with my finger and they become a little bit darker. Okay, little spray of water now, and I'm going to put a little bit more light in with the silicone tool there, and a few little random bits of light here and there, just to give me that abstract ground and foliage kind of look. Now with a dagger brush, I'm going to put some more of these grasses in. Not detailed again, these are just hints of grasses and little weeds and leaves. Now with a rigger brush or a liner brush, wet the canvas again, lightly, and then start to paint some of these whiskers on. You cannot do this on dry canvas, but if you slightly dampen it, then you can paint these long, thin lines. It draws the paint from the brush. If you tried to do this without wetting the board, it wouldn't work. Okay, a few little dots and dashes here with that. And then I need to start putting some darker shadows in. I'll do some in the bottom right hand corner and also in the top left, just to give a hint of some leaves, Impressionist leaves. And then once that's all done, that's the painting finished. If you have enjoyed this video and hopefully found it interesting and entertaining, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Be sure to click on the little bell icon if you wish to be notified of my latest videos. I am always interested in your questions and comments, and I do try to answer every one of them. Hopefully I will see you on my next painting video, so until then, have a lovely day and happy painting!